had several weeks of winds and rains after we put this weed barrier down. It's half tethered from the winds, and we've had to go in and re-tack everything down all the way down it and started pulling up the middle sheet. So we've got all that tacked down, and then we're going to start halfway on that row there and roll it all the way down the length of it with a new sheet. So yesterday we got the repair done to the weed barrier that the winds had tethered and got that new strip put down. Brian is out here working on the high tunnel. It's a 10 by 20 high tunnel greenhouse. He's working on that. And I put some weed barrier down by the fruit trees yesterday. I'm going to go down and I'm going to get all the weeds pulled from around the fruit trees. I've got some weed barrier, round weed barrier that's going to go around the trunks of the trees to hopefully keep those weeds out. And then we're going to be laying more weed barrier on this other side and in between the trees. Our plan is to keep all the weeds out. This is a slope going down right here, so we are not sure what we're going to be able to do with that. Weed barrier is probably not going to stay on that, so we're not sure how we're going to do that. We will probably put another strip on the other side of that weed barrier just to extend that space a little bit. We may plant a couple more trees over there, fruit trees. But that's what we're working on today. We've got, it's cold out here right now. It's about 47 degrees. But each day this week is supposed to be very light winds. So we'll be able to get some more of the garden built. We're behind schedule. Right now, in a week we should be putting plants in the beds, but it's not going to happen because we're behind because of all the winds and rains that we've had. So anyway, that's where we're at right now, and we're going to get some more work done this morning and before I have to go to work this evening. Okay, so we've got our fruit trees down here with the weed barrier. We've got our raised bed rings around them, and I've got them 3/4 full of mulch. So they've got double layer of weed barrier under them and mulch. So that should keep the weeds out from around, and we're going to come back and lay another strip of weed barrier, I think, on this side, just to keep weeds from growing on this side. Less mowing and upkeep. And our pear tree has gotten so heavy that we had to anchor that to pull that back because it was leaning. But it should make it strong and keep it forced that way. Then we've got these two little trees that just haven't grown much in the last few years. So we're on year 4 with our fruit trees. And then we've got this fruit tree over here. This is a plum that's doing pretty good. Got the ring around it. We're trying to decide if we're going to run weed barrier from this fruit tree all the way across over there to those thornless blackberries. And I think we're going to put these vajayga beds around the blackberries too. So we're haven't decided if we're just going to do a bigger span here with weed barrier and over there too. We kind of want to leave this open for driving the tractor and side-by-side through here. But we do have this opening here to the garden that we could drive through. We just don't want to limit ourselves too much. We're waiting on some J hooks to come in. They'll be delivering today so we can anchor down the hoop house before we put the tarp on it. And then I'm going to start lining out where the T-posts need to go, because the T-post will go, this is a 16-foot span here, and then it'll go 48 feet this way with the cattle panels. And these are our garden beds for the greenhouse and for the garden. That bigger one, we do have a few of the bigger ones. I'm gonna see if those will fit around the blackberries, the longer ones. And then these shorter ones, I've got several of them. We've been buying them a little bit at a time over the last year, so it didn't hit us all at once. But we got like 4 of these put together so far. They're really quick to go together, but they've got a plastic coating on them that you got to pull off, and that's what takes time on each panel. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes just to get the plastic off. Okay, so we've been working on the garden, and we got the cattle panels up on the sides. We're getting ready to build the gate, and I went ahead and brought all my starters out here that I had in the greenhouse prior to the ones I have in there now. I've got my greenhouse raised beds built, and in there I'm getting ready to line them with cardboard before we put soil in them. But this is what we've gotten done so far. We still have more garden beds to put together, and I'm gonna start working on those in the evening time and building the gate. So that's where we're at today. We are out here in the garden composting our bins, our raised beds. We have our compost mixture is a mixture of mushroom compost, chicken manure, rabbit manure, horse manure, dried eggshells, coffee grounds, and we have that all mulched together, and that's what we are filling our bins with. Brian is getting 1 scoop at a time, filling 5-gallon buckets, bringing it in. We don't want to run the tractor across the weed barrier. We don't want to take a chance of tearing it up, so we're just wheelbarrowing it in. Started up here on the end. This is our high tunnel. We have not put the top on it yet. We've got to get our watering system set up, so we're just hand watering. We've got tomatoes, carrots, broccoli, cabbage planted in there right now. And they are looking really sad. These are all starters from the greenhouse, and they are needing constant water. So we are watering by hand. We need to be watering twice a day right now until we get the watering system set up. But it is starting to come together. We are still waiting on 4 more of our raised beds to come in, and then we'll be positioning on this side the smaller beds like what's in the high tunnel. This big one will go down at the end when we're done down there shoveling our compost in. The high fence put up with cattle panels. This side we left lower for now. We think it'll be fine because there's a big drop. I know it's so hard to tell in the video, but that is a big good sized drop right there down to our fruit trees. We've got to fix the weed barrier down there. It's already starting to lift up. We are going to fence off. We've got an electric fence that we're going to fence off from the end of the high tunnel down and around the fruit trees, and then we're going to come back up and probably meet this T-post right here. That way we have a 3-foot opening from here, from the high tunnel to about 3-foot opening here from this T-post to the high tunnel. This will be a breezeway, but it'll be closed off. That way we're going to put some cattle buckets back here with some herbs and stuff in it. And we can also utilize this space here for some cattle buckets. Potatoes and herbs probably. That way it'll be easier to dump the buckets to harvest the potatoes. But that's where we are right now. As soon as we get the watering system up, we're going to put the tarp over the high tunnel. And right now we're just going to keep filling the raised beds until we're done. We're waiting on the others to deliver. So we've been purchasing these raised beds for about a year and a month now. A couple a month we would buy because they're a little pricey. That way, when by this time came, we should have just about everything we need. I think it'll be perfect. The ones we've got that are still on their way. And then we've got these little round ones in the middle. I think we're going to do squash in those. But we'll see. Welcome to the high tunnel. So we got the canopy put on the high tunnel. I've got all these beds in here with stuff in them. They're not completely full. Those four are. Some of them are still looking sad. We're going to see how they end up being. I've got some other stuff in the greenhouse that I can still plant, but they're not ready yet. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where I'm going to put everything. I do have some starters over there, herbs mostly, and hot peppers, and I'm not sure where I'm putting them yet, so I'm just going to keep them watered. I got my 2 potting stations set up in here, but we've got it opened up. Let's see what the temp is in here. Temp is 84 in the greenhouse. Maybe too warm, but I've already given them some water. I might water again before I leave for work. I'm working second shift, so I'm trying to get some stuff done this morning before I head out to work. Here's what we've gotten done on the garden. All the fencing is up except for the 2 gates. We've got 4 of these bigger tubs are full with dirt, the compost mixture. We've still got to do the last one down there. I've got to line it with some cardboard and some sawdust first. I've got my middle rounds set up. I think I have them spaced out where I want them. Those will be for the squash and stuff that vine. We'll probably put beans in there and put a vining up on them for the beans. But we've got this side all done. We've got the center done. We have not got dirt in the center ones yet. But on this side are going to be, I've got 6 more of these beds that are in transit. They're just taking a little while to get here. And they are the size of these in the greenhouse. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to position it, because the gate will go here from this 3-foot section coming out where the T-posts are. The gate is going to be either a 3 or 4 foot gate, and it is going to swing into the garden. So I'm not sure how I will be positioning those raised beds, if I will go lengthwise or if I will come out like this. That one may have to go lengthwise, and then I may have to start coming out like this, because the ground is sloping just a little bit on that side from the hillside drop. But yeah, this is where we are right now. We've got some company today, so Brian is smoking some ribs for our company, and I think we are done with what work we are going to do in the garden today. Although I'm still going to line that
end tub with all the cardboard that I picked up last night, and probably start lining these smaller rings with some cardboard too, to have those ready. That way, tomorrow or whenever Brian gets ready to do some more compost, those will be ready for him, and he's not waiting on me. Although I'll be out here again tomorrow. And I'm going to show you my little sign I have out here. When we got monetized, we had a big giveaway. We gave away 35 prizes. Some of them had several prizes together with it. But anyway, this garden sign, we gave away 2 of those with some seeds on our giveaway. And I have one for myself. So it's hanging here. I will hang it from this T-post. No, I'll probably hang it from this closer to the T-post. Gate's going to go there. And we're also going to have a gate down here, of course. And it'll mimic the one up here, 3 or 4 feet. The one down here is going to fasten to this T-post here and swing out that way. No, take that back. It's going to swing that way because the ground slopes right here. It goes lower. And that's the reason we couldn't come on out with our, we intended to go on out some more with our garden, but we had to cut it off and lose 2 to 3 feet because it slopes off into a slope down right here. So I'm going to do a quick little update while the sun is out. It's been pouring and storming for 2 days, and the sun is out right now. It's beautiful. Check that out. But Brian says the storm is coming again, the rains, in about 10-15 minutes. So I'm going to get a little update real quick. The high tunnel was up. We've got the cover on it. We've got it anchored down. It has survived just fine over the last couple of days with the storms and the winds. So I'm going to go around here. All of our raised beds come in. Got them all put together. And this is what it looks like out here. So we've got 5 large ones and 6 of the smaller ones out here. We've got 5 of the round ones and 4 potato bags or grow bags that potatoes will go in. So that's our setup. We left plenty of walkway in the middle here. We still have to fill. So we've put cardboard in the bottom and then pine bark, and then the rest will be compost. So we still need to fill all this row with the compost. I've got some of the compost in the grow bag to fill all these up. So these round bins, several of them, got saw shavings from our sawmill until we ran out. All of these bigger ones got a layer of sawdust, but we ran out. Well, the last one did not. But all these have cardboard, pine bark. We still have these 2. These were the last 2 beds that came in. I got those put together, got them out here. We still got to line those with cardboard, but like I said, it's been storming for 2 days. I've got the cardboard. I could bring that on out, but the storm is coming. It's right behind us. But these round ones, they're ready for compost. I think we're going to have the next 7 to 10 days with no more rains and storms. Fingers crossed. I'm working night shift again this coming week, so Brian said he would get out here and start moving and filling these beds with compost. I will have a few hours before I have to go to work, so I will be out here helping him. I will get the cardboard in here. I will get the pine bark in here, and help start putting the compost in these before we can ever. So this bed is cardboard and pine bark, and we will fill it up with compost. We are about, well, by the time we get everything planted, we will be 4 weeks behind on planting than we normally are. Normally, by last weekend, mid-April, everything would have already been planted.
Today we're getting ready to build some doors for the garden. I have already started cutting. I've already ripped a 2x6 at 5 feet, these at 3 feet, and that's what this is going to be, is a 5x3 door. We are at the table, and we're going to start gluing some framework. Okay. Let's make sure we're up tight with this one. And these should hold me together while I get that side put together. This one's cut just a little bit thin. That's the reason why it's, but that's okay. It'll still vise up nicely. Now, I'm going to drill some pilot holes. Heck yeah. Counter sunk in. That is solid. Now, next step is cutting panel, and we'll put a cattle panel on this, nail it to the frame. That'll stiffen it up real good, and then we'll put these out in the garden.
Well, guys, today is the last day of the planting. I finally got everything planted in the beds. I'm not going to bore you with telling you everything we have. We do have a lot of tomatoes in the greenhouse here. Most everything that we have planted was planted from seeds. We had to do several rounds in the greenhouse inside to get it done. And now we're out here. The garden is completely done. I've ordered a couple more trellises for the tomatoes and the bush beans and corn. Brian built me 2 fabulous gates, one on each end down there. And I've got everything planted. Some of the stuff I didn't have tags from a few years ago to be able to name what we've got, but for the most part, well, I'd say not the most part, but probably half of it is tagged, so I know what's what. But lots of tomatoes, lots of bell pepper, herbs, stuff I wanted to do this year. This bed looks bare, but it's a lot of seeds in there still that we didn't have time to start in the greenhouse. But I got potatoes, squash, more potatoes. This bed is looks empty, but it's got cabbage seeds in it. I'm hoping they'll come up because I couldn't find any starters in cabbage, and I really want the cabbage to come up quickly. If it doesn't come up in the next 10 days, I will be trying to find some starters because we love cabbage. But more potatoes down there at the end. More tomatoes and bell pepper in these beds. Herbs. Back there are my bush beans. That's from Survival Seeds 2025 collaboration. I've got corn over here. More corn in that one. The Survival Seeds 2025 collaboration, everything's just mixed in out here where it needed to be planted, where it could be friends with other things. And I do want to show you my signs that I had made. One's for Resourceful Living Homestead, and one for the Vineyard Chicks, Bushcraft Family and Lazy Days Ahead, for the Survival Seeds 2025. Got that on the gate. I need to cut these tabs off. But anyway, that is going to wrap up this video. Appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Click that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. And give us a thumbs up on this video and leave us a comment. Until next time, have an awesome day.
And that wraps up this video.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and watch more of our videos. Bye.